My name is Nassine Sabs.
Let me ask you a question. Has anything ever happened to you that you couldn't explain? That made you feel sort of foolish when you tried to tell somebody about it? Well, if it has, you have plenty of company, as you'll soon see.
Baby raping, baby murdering, demonically possessed, mind controlled people, and the way they operate. So they come up with the fancy words to put an air of mystique, an air of royal, of that purple on it. Okay, they're trying to put that purple on it, that royalty, and it doesn't have anything to do about that. What's royal? What's so royal about killing babies every single day? How is that royal? How is that like a fancy thing to do? That's what happens in these underground places, you know. What do you think it's for? The devil created that. What do you think the devil is there for to do? The devil is there for to kill you and to make you not know about God and make you not know about Jesus. That's it. That's it. That's the whole story. That's the whole story. Get people to partake in evil to the extent where their physical being is infested and infected with evil spiritual beings, evil spirits, devils, demons, jinns, whatever name. I don't give a shit anymore about their fancy names. I don't care about their names. Okay? To get a person to be so demonically possessed, that basically they're dead, but not. To get them so demonically possessed where they turn themselves into a devil, basically. To turn themselves into a devil. To have so many devils living in their body that there's no more room or space for anything that is of a man or anything that's of a woman anymore. And it just becomes devil then at that point. And so in these underground places where the real government is, where the real decisions that affect your life personally and the lives of those that you love very much, literally, are being affected by these people. You think God likes it? No. But what affects them? What goes against them? Prayer, mainly. Loving other people, majorly. That's basically the main thing. Whatever form or shape loving someone takes. So if loving someone takes on the form of being their friend, talking to them, making them feel better about themselves, whatever the form loving someone takes. I mean, those are just examples, but there's infinite examples. The only thing that affects them is prayer and loving. Prayer and loving. Now, I've seen over and over again from quote unquote journalists with their anonymous sources saying that they rescued 1,000 children over there, they rescued 400 children over here in the underground base. I'm not talking about like the police where it's on the news. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like these journalists that say that they have sources at the Pentagon, or they have sources at this place or that place, and a whole bunch of kids were rescued from these underground places, and it was like very fucked up. I don't know if I believe it. Let's say it's true, okay? Let's say that they were rescued, right? And what I have to say about that is, well, what about the rest of them? See, it's not enough. Once you really see how evil it is, once you see that there's like hundreds of millions of, maybe even billions and billions of kids that have been in these underground things, it's not enough to just rescue 1,000 here, 500 there, 100 there, 10 here. It's great, but it's not nearly enough. And so why is it, okay, here's the question. Why is it that people that worship the devil and kill babies, why is it that they get to be in charge of things in a way where it's directly affecting your very life and very existence in this world right now, this second? Why? It doesn't seem legit. It doesn't seem fair. And it's actually pretty fucked up that the way it is, the ones who get to be in charge are the ones who kill babies and children and people and adults and murder them and eat them and drink up their bodily fluid, blood, everything. Raw, cooked. And they get to rule you. They get to be in charge of you. They get to dictate policy. Not the policy of the above ground government. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about anything that you can see with your eyes above the ground on the surface of this earth. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about miles deep underneath the ground. Okay? Miles deep underneath the ground. Gigantic cities. Super futuristic style type of city. With this crazy, insane type of technology. Where children are literally bought and sold like slaves. A future society filled with devil worship, child slavery, where the child is a slave, meaning that you could do whatever it is that you want to that kid, and no one is going to bat an eye or do anything, because that's part of the culture. That is part of the culture. The culture is killing the baby. The culture is murdering the child. The culture is abusing the child, raping the child, cannibalizing the child, chopping the child's head off, arm off, leg off, poking the child's eye out, castrating the child, cooking the child alive, skinning the child, ripping the child's skull cap off. Who do you think is ruling you? Who do you think is ruling this place? What do you think they do? They do things like this. But keep voting, though. Keep voting. Even though the actual real government, right underneath your feet, a couple miles deep, is the ones that are actually in charge of who gets to be on the ballot to begin with. And they're doing those things to little babies and little kids. But you keep on voting, though. Keep doing it. As if it's going to make a difference. It's not. See, this is happening right now. I'm not talking about something that happened like 5 years ago and it no longer happens anymore. Where it doesn't happen anymore. It's not happening. No, it's happening right now, this very moment. It's not going to be on mainstream television. Who do you think is in charge of creating the TV, inventing the technology? Once you see that you are in a satanic, fallen angel, demonic situation where you were born into it already being like that. But because you see, your parents, they didn't know anything. They were ignorant, okay? They didn't know. And their parents before them didn't know. And their parents before them didn't know. Or if they did know, they didn't teach you it and they didn't tell you. Either way, nobody told you. Nobody told you this. You're born, you're a little kid. You don't know anything. And then you see bad things happening. And it's like, why? Why all these bad things? And you don't understand it. Where's it coming from? It's coming from the devil doing his best to run every single thing into the ground here so that every single man, woman, and child can be killed in the most painful, horrific way possible. And there are people from existing from a long time ago that have made secret spiritual blood pacts and blood oaths with fallen angels from many years in the past, where they made a quote-unquote certain type of deal where their family gets to have a pseudo type of control and pseudo type of ownership over you and over the population in general. And in exchange, these families must do those terrible bad things to children. And that includes all of the bad things that are happening right now underneath the ground. Okay, the news, TV, movies, comics, novels, media entertainment, television, it's not going to say it. No one is going to say it like that. No one is going to say that. Why? It's too horrible to believe that that's the world that you live in daily and is happening right now. It's too horrible to believe it. And on purpose, it is kept hidden from you to keep things going in a certain direction, civilization-wide, society-wide. So it's not just about children in underground bases. That's a part of what's going on. But there's a point to that. The point is to bring about the destruction using murderous force against you, because the devil hates God. That's what's happening right now. God already decided what he's going to do. He's going to save people. He's going to save his people, and he's going to make things right. But before God saves people and before God makes things right, it's going to get very, very fucked up. And it's going to get very, 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 very bad.